Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion, located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street, in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com. It's everything you never needed to know. This is Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What is the most valuable car ever made?
Are red cars faster? Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy. And this week, I had a red car. And this week, we scoured the internet to find out these totally useless tidbits just for you.
Plus, we'll open up our mailbag today in the mailbag segment. The listener is giving us some more feedback on our birthday messages. They just love us. They love us very much. In fact, she ordered 3 more. And in the news, they've done it again. They stole one of those supermarket trolleys.
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
I have to
Yes.
I have to interrupt for the audience that's listening in the United States.
Yes.
Nick is, I believe, speaking about a shopping push cart.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Just, it's a translation, folks.
I said
Canadian,
trolley. I misspoke.
Canadian and American.
No, I just misspoke. So I'll take that part again, okay? So we're going to do a live edit on this show, okay? We're not going to cut this out.
Here
Ready?
we go. Get
3,
ready.
2, 1. And in the news, they've done it again. A lady stole a shopping cart. Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
fine.
good. Yeah, he did a good job.
They did a great job. You know, and you do a great job listening to us. We really appreciate that. Globally, 90 plus countries around the world, and as Roy mentioned, the United States, of course, in Canada, on the iHeartRadio Talk Network, coast to coast to coast. And you know what? We're going places.
This is Totally Useless Vehicle Information with Nick, Meet Me, and Roy. Vroom, vroom.
You know, someone did send an email asking me why the voice lady, which more and more people, you know what, I think the voice lady is becoming more popular than we are.
Yeah, she gets a lot of mail.
Yeah, she does. And a lot of what? Oh, mail. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I think
A lot of mails.
Mails, yes. A lot of people want to know because it's the mystery voice. But she does an amazing job. And they wanted to know in this one email why I'm referred to as Meep Meep and you're Vroom Vroom.
You know, the mail lady is becoming like the guy behind the fence in that Home Improvement show.
Oh, you mean the voice lady? Yeah. Yeah, you just don't see it.
The voice lady has
So-
become the guy behind the fence.
Now, you live in Florida. I live in Toronto, Canada, and
Yes.
traffic is becoming a mess. I mean, I don't know about you in Florida.
Yes.
It's just becoming a mess. But this doesn't beat this. Okay, as bad as the traffic is in our respective cities, the world's longest traffic jam lasted over 12 days and stretched
What?
more than 60 miles in China.
What? 12 days?
12 days. It's like the Christmas song, the 12 days of traffic. On the first
Yeah.
day of traffic, my true love gave
That's why those Chinese cars come with porta potties.
to me. Well, they should. So it stretched over 60 miles or 100 kilometers in Canadian terms. The National Highway 110 between Hebei and Inner Mongolia, as opposed to Outer Mongolia, the gridlock was caused by a combination of construction, an overwhelming number of heavy trucks, and high volume of vehicles on the road during a national holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 1941, Henry Ford wanted to come up with a new great discovery in the automotive industry. I mean, he had come up with the assembly line. So what could he do? He made a car out of soybeans. So he makes this car completely out of soybeans. It weighs 2,000 pounds. That's relatively light for 1941. Those cars weighed like 5,000 pounds.
Yeah.
It was a tubular frame, plastic panels made of soybeans. Plus, I guess you didn't need gas. I mean, it was made of beans.
Well, no, you didn't need petrol fuel. You had other types of gas to propel it.
Yeah, but apparently it didn't work out. And they just kept making them out of metal.
Right. Absolutely. So here's my teaser. Red cars are not faster. You're thinking, okay, I'm going to drive a red car. I'm going to be really, really fast. I'm going to look cool.
You ever had a red car, Nick?
I had a maroon car.
Oh, that's not red. That's maroon.
What's in a red family?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I did have a bright red Dodge Charger.
Was it a little red Corvette?
No, Dodge Charger, red,
Ah.
black stripes on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Cool.
this was my first car ever, 1984 Cutlass Sierra.
I remember
Beautiful.
that car.
Yeah, it was a great car. It was awesome.
That was a great car.
It was. Red cars are not faster. Despite the myth, the color does not affect speed. It's just a perception thing, right? So it was rooted in psychological associations, not physics. So
It's like looking at a regular woman and then Heidi Klum. She
Right.
just looks faster.
yeah, yes, fast and
There's
loose.
there's a dream and a hope for everything. Nick.
Oh, there is, yes. So obviously, I mean, what does influence speed? Well, the engine, the design, and the driver's actions, the way you drive the car. So no, the color of your car does not determine how fast you go.
Yeah. And of course, Nick is the guy that everybody's beeping at. They're doing 30 and 70.
There you go. That's why I'm called Meet Me, because they're always honking at me. There we go. We figured it out. Another mystery solved on totally useless information with Nick and Roy.
I love this one. This is my tease. The Rolls-Royce HP 15.
Mm-hmm.
It is the first time that Rolls-Royce,
Right.
got together to produce a vehicle. They called it the HP 15. It's probably because it went 15 miles an hour.
Ah, okay.
It was a 3-cycle engine, and maybe it had 15 horsepower. Who the hell knows? But it was the HP 15, and they only made 6, apparently, between 5 and 6. And there is only one left in existence. And roughly they get 10.2 million per cylinder because it's worth over $35 million.
Ouch. Wow.
That's a rather expensive 3-cylinder car.
Let's go down the rabbit hole. The name of the Rolls-Royce hood ornament, it has a name. The Spirit of Ecstasy.
Yes, speaking of Heidi Klum.
Yes, and speaking of Roy's high school adventures, it was also known as the Flying Lady or the Silver Lady, sculpted by Charles Sykes in 1909.
Wow.
There you go.
There you go.
The Bugatti Veyron, is it? The Veyron?
The Veyron's
The Veyron.
beautiful, yeah. I've seen them.
Okay, now how many wheels, how many tires does it have?
I thought 4.
Yeah, okay. How much do you think each tire, what it would cost to replace each individual tire?
Oh my God. They're special. I'm not sure if they're Pirellis or Yokohamas or what the hell they are, but I think they're Pirelli Pilot P something pilots.
No, they're expensive.
No, what are they?
Expensive.
What are they?
Expensive. That's what they are. Each tire costs $10,000. Okay?
Wow.
$10,000. But not only that, you have to replace them every 2,500 miles. That's it.
Oh, listen, I had a Maserati. I know that every 12,000 miles, new rubber,
Yeah.
every 12,000.
Yeah.
It had special comp tires on it. Yeah, same thing.
So you're
Crazy,
spending...
stupid.
It is. Well, did you say stupid?
Let me tell you, it's stupid.
Okay.
When you go in and they say it's the B service, I'm like, what's the B service? They said $9,000.
Wow.
I said, what is that? They said brakes, tires, and an oil change.
What, an
$9,000?
overnight, and an overnight stay or something? Like
I know, right? An overnight stay in Hawaii? What what is this?
The heck? Wow. Okay.
You're giving me a new car? What is going on?
Yes. It is.
Yeah, crazy. All right. In 1478, a man invented and drew the first mechanical car.
14?
His name?
Hold on, 1478? That far back?
1478, Nick. You weren't born for about 3 years.
Right, yeah, exactly.
1478, Leonardo da Vinci drew the first mechanical vehicle, a 3-wheeled car. In 2004, the Italian Museum built one by the specifications of the drawing. It worked. It was a cranked mechanical car. It was driven by gears, and it worked.
Yeah, I drove a crank car once.
Yeah. You were probably on crank at the time.
So you're talking
They're all
about
cranked up.
I was. So you're talking about like new cars. How about abandoned cars? Right? Now you're thinking they would
Yeah.
normally go to a junkyard.
Yeah, it's you got to have a pretty big car to fit the whole band in there.
Right, yeah, exactly. I see.
Abandoned
Abandoned
cars.
car, right. This way you don't need a car radio.
Oh, you mean cars that nobody wanted?
That's right. Well, you know
Oh,
what?
the poor things, poor things.
No, don't feel so bad for them because there is a car museum where they collect these abandoned cars, specifically abandoned Volkswagen cars. And you're thinking, where would you think that these abandoned Volkswagen cars would be stored? In what country?
Germany, unser Deutschland, Deutschland.
Wrong. Switzerland. That's
Ooh,
where
the
the car
Schweiz.
museum is. The Schweiz. That's right. Not in Germany, but in Switzerland. So if
They're like, come on, pull that thing up the Alps and put it at the top of the mountain.
just like the Van Trapp family did.
Mm-hmm.
Over
And
the
once
month.
they get them up there, they all bring out their little tubes and they're like, Ricola. It was not long ago, but listen to this, Nick. I didn't even fathom this. Seatbelts first became a law in 1962
Wow, that far back.
in Wisconsin.
Okay.
It was the first state in the United States to make seatbelts mandatory in a vehicle. And of course, they just followed, every state followed very quickly. But Wisconsin, they must have wanted, to protect the cheese or something.
Yeah. Now, here, we'll go down the rabbit hole here, though. So seatbelts were first invented by George Cayley for use in gliders. The first patent.
But what was the year?
Swedish engineer Nils Bolin for Volvo in 1959.
Okay, so 59.
Yeah.
So it took, the guy gives it to everyone.
Yeah.
This
That's right.
big safety feature.
Yes.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information. Totally useless information with Nick and Roy continues. Listen, laugh, and learn.
You know what's really nice is when you think of a loved one in your life and you gift them the Nick and Roy birthday message. That's how
Nick,
nice you
I
are.
can't get over that our mailbag this week. I'm going through it.
Yeah.
And Nick and I have separate mail things,
That's right. Yeah.
So I'm going through it, but I'm sitting there saying, I cannot believe this. Like I had like 34 or 35 emails personally to me. And I think literally like 20 were birthday messages. Now, folks, go to nickandroy.com, type on the Nick and Roy store. You're going to see the birthday message up top. I'm going to tell you right now, it is one of the best gifts you could ever buy for somebody. And especially when you say, oh, they have everything. This makes it easy. You go right online, you do the birthday message, you follow a couple of questions. It gives us the fuel that we need to create a mini show just for that person, a mini, totally useless show. It's the greatest gift they'll ever get. They share it with all their friends. You look like a superstar, and it doesn't even cost that much.
nickandroy.com.
Innovations, ideas. The Totally Useless Information Podcast presents Inventions.
So I have a couple of inventions that involve your toaster. Okay, I'll do one, then I'll let you do your fact, and then I'll come back to a
And then
second
you'll
toaster.
do another.
That's right. So two toaster inventions.
It's kind of like Nick's brain. It's toast.
Yeah. What was it, Dr. Pilson? I smelled burnt toast or something. They were discovering epilepsy or something, and Dr. Pilson, because she had a live brain surgery or something while she was
And the
away.
person said, I smell burnt toast.
Yes. Yeah.
I said, oh my God, I'm sorry. We left that soldering iron on by your foot.
Right. A novelty toaster or a custom photo toaster is the name of a toaster that burns images of messages onto bread using heat.
Ooh.
Some versions of these custom-made stencils for permanent images, while others are app-controlled or smart toasters that can print custom messages on demand. So could you imagine you freak somebody out, you take their picture, put them on your phone, and then you can send that picture to your toaster, and then the toaster will have the image of that person.
Well, you do know that the toaster is nothing but a dead short. It's literally a short in a piece of wire that's wound around what appears to be like a piece of bread, the size of a piece of bread.
Right.
And then the electric current goes through it and it gets hot, red hot,
Right.
and it cooks the bread.
Right. And as
So basically, it's just cooking it in the spots needed to form the image.
Isn't that wild? It's great.
That's so simple, but it's simplistic.
It's also, and now if you remember on several episodes ago, you stated that when you put bread in your toaster and you adjust the darkness of it, how much you want it to be dark or lighter, it has nothing to do with temperature, but with timing.
Cement, Nick.
Yes.
You know the Romans, right? Cement.
Yes.
No. Romans invented concrete.
What's the difference?
Concrete is a mixture of cement and rocks and some additional things like a little more lye, I think, or whatever, limestone to make concrete. But the cement was invented by the Egyptians to seal the stones together, almost like a mortar. They invented cement. The Romans took it a step further, but it was the Egyptians, folks, who invented cement.
So the second toaster is very similar to the first one. This is what's called a selfie toaster. Okay, so basically you can send a picture of any face, including yours, and it'll start burning. It'll burn the toaster.
Yeah.
It's the perfect gift for moms, dads. But you know what? Nothing more special than a birthday message.
Nick tried that and set the whole house on fire.
Yeah. You know what? Why give
the toaster decided to destroy all evidence.
Why guess? So I'm going to scrap that invention because, no, I'm not going to give anybody another gift idea other than the Nick and Roy birthday message at nickandroy.com at the Nick and Roy store. Okay? How about finger...
What a plug. What a plug.
Yeah, what a plug. Finger covers for your cheesy snacks.
Are you doing another one?
Well,
you don't let me go?
I know I'm going to go because I scrapped the other one. I don't want to.
You didn't like it?
No.
Yeah?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
So
you got extras?
Come on.
They gave you extras, Nick?
I'm full of useless information. Why stop now? Finger covers for those cheesy snacks. Now, you've had like Cheetos, right? And all of your hands become orange. But no, with this wonderful invention, they're finger covers. They're tiny rubber finger gloves to keep your hands clean while eating those orange Cheetos.
I invented that tiny rubber thing in high school.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Not just my fingers I used for those.
Right, yeah.
Those bugles. Remember you'd put the bugles on your finger? Is everyone out there thinking?
Yes,
Put your thinking caps on.
Yep,
Put your
exactly.
bugle hat on. Listen, this one I like because, again, we take this so for granted. And for years, we all walked around with watches on our wrists. Now the kids don't even wear watches. They have their smartphones, which they use as watches, I guess. They're very trusting, this generation. I don't trust anybody. I'm cynical, Nick. I don't even trust the time that's on that phone.
Yes.
But the actual handheld watch.
Okay,
because again, the wristwatch becomes after the handheld watch, but more like a pocket watch or a handheld watch.
Right.
Was invented by a guy named Peter Henlin.
Okay.
Of Nuremberg, Germany. Deutschland, 1510.
Oh.
In 1510, this guy, Peter Henlin, does the impossible. He invents the gearing system that would keep time. And from that point forward, everyone walked around with a watch.
Of course, they were fetishes, right? They had watch fetishes, but some people had clocks on their walls. They have those are people who have a clock fetish.
Yeah, I'd like to clock you in the head right now.
So you're walking around.
Thank God we're 1,500 miles away.
Oh, absolutely.
That order of protection doesn't stand.
Or even rubber gloves. Tiny rubber finger gloves. Do you suffer from any allergies or anything? Do you know?
Nick, never in my life until a few years ago that I wake up in the morning sometimes, and I guess I'm allergic to trees or grass or
Okay.
something,
All right.
something outside.
And your nose gets all runny and stuff, so you need like a facial tissue or something. Maybe sometimes a sheet of toilet paper
A
to
lot of
wipe
times
it.
I just slap one of them little rubber things on my
Right.
nose.
No, but you would either have a facial tissue or maybe some toilet paper, right? You're in the bathroom and you would
I
grab
prefer facial tissue, Nick, over the
Okay.
toilet paper. I don't know who's been in my bathroom.
Okay. Well, have I got the invention for you? The toilet paper hat.
Toilet paper hat.
That's right. A hat that dispenses toilet paper for those allergy seasons and emotional breakdowns, which you might suffer on this show.
Wow.
Yeah, it dispenses. It was invented as a novelty item, of course, right? And it's also a do-it-yourself project, right? So the design typically involves a spindle attached to a hat that holds a roll of toilet paper, which can be pulled off and torn as needed.
So the toilet paper is part of the hat.
That's correct, on that spindle. So it's like having one of those
So I
toilet
guess if you took a piece
took a piece.
to blow your nose.
Right. Wow.
That's the brand name, Tuca piece.
Took a piece. Love it.
See, Nick, I come up with all these
Awesome.
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got nothing better to do.
No, you
that
don't.
bugle's not staying on there anymore. We spoke about Leonardo da Vinci, Nick.
Yes.
We just spoke about him, right? We said that he invented the first technical drawings for a mechanical vehicle.
Right.
Okay, this is really crazy that most people don't know. This man was so ingenious, and his inventions, there's thousands and thousands of them. But one of the ones that we use really all the time, the scissor, was invented by Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this guy was just unbelievable. He basically put two straight blades together and created the scissor with two round things on them to be manipulated by your fingers. Pretty much like those rubber hats.
Right.
A lot of finger manipulation things going on. Connotations here, Nick.
Yes, absolutely.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information.
Hi, Nick and Roy for Tom's Place.
Whether you're dressing for the office, a special event, or a night out, you need to be ready for it all. Looking sharp matters, and Tom's Place has everything you need for less. Polished business casual, stylish sport jackets, sophisticated suits, and tuxedos, all at the most unbeatable prices.
And Roy knows all about being sophisticated. Check out the selected dress shirts from $70. Select designer suits, normally $650, now $375, or grab 3 for $9.99. Sports jackets, 50% off. And with winter coming, top coats are 50% off. Tons of inventory on 2 floors. Even new arrivals are slashed to sell.
So you've got to see it all, and you can. You can see it at the website at toms-place.com. One more time, toms-place.com. Stop in the store, but you have to for these amazing, great deals. Tom says he has too much inventory, so he'll be at the cash register himself. You heard right. Tom will be at the cash register for what he calls deals on deals.
Dress for less. Tom's Place Black Friday sale on now at 190 Baldwin Street in Kensington Market. Tom's Place will suit you.
We're back with totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Mick Madden, it was an inventor. He had a problem.
What was that, Nick?
Malcolm and Ethel were his 2 problems. He had 2 problems, actually, Malcolm and Ethel.
And was this a thrumble?
No, it wasn't. No, but, well, I hope not. Those are the names of his goldfish, Malcolm and Ethel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were actually trapped within the confines of the...
You know where they lived? Under the sea.
Right.
Under the sea.
Well, they lived in a tiny bowl, and they were confined to that. So
yeah.
Malcolm just figured, you know what? These poor fish, Ethel and Malcolm, they didn't see enough of the world. So he invented the goldfish walker. Okay.
The goldfish walker.
Yes, it's a mobile fish tank. No, he didn't take the fish out of the water and walk
Oh,
them.
no. He
Right.
walked the tank around.
The what?
The tank.
You're welcome. A mobile fish tank on wheels so that he can walk his fish like a pet. So it wasn't confined to his house or wherever he had it. He would walk the streets with the aquarium, I guess, so that Malcolm and Ethel can see the outside world.
Wow, that guy, what a guy, huh?
Yeah.
That's nice thinking.
Yeah.
You know, when my son was young, I didn't want him to have the mental disorder of not having a pet,
Right.
but we really did not have time for a pet. So I did a little research.
Yes.
Went to the pet shop, and the guy says goldfish are perfect because all you got to do is stick them in the bowl and, you know, feed them every once in a while.
Right.
That worked out really great until we flushed it.
Oh. You didn't you have to, spoiler alert, it has a tragic
Yes.
ending.
I didn't know, but I didn't know you had to buy a bowl. He said just keep them in the bowl. I put the
Oh.
goldfish in the toilet bowl. I didn't know.
They
Nick.
didn't specify which bowl.
No. And I gave that goldfish something new to look at every day for its lifetime.
Wow.
I have the best one of all.
You do?
Yes.
Which one is that?
This guy, John Gregg, he had a bit of a problem. He was deaf.
What? Sorry.
Just was waiting for that. You were a little slow in the draw today.
You know,
Nick, I'll do that one more time. John Gregg, Nick, was deaf.
what? Yeah.
John invented something that was used for forever. It still is used today, but not as much because of computers and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But John Gregg invented shorthand,
Oh.
the ability of writing while being dictated to at high speed and being able to keep up with the writing. That shorthand would be depicted into invented into other devices like the court stenographer
All right.
and
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That was a form of shorthand invented by John Gregg, the deaf man. It's
Someone
like the
came.
blind guy who invented cruise control.
That's right.
These things are insane.
They
right?
are.
Down the garden path with Nick and Roy.
Let me ask you a question, Roy. It's a
No, Nick.
Let me ask
please.
you a question. It's a personal question. Are you a grower or a shower?
You know, Nick, I like showing it.
Okay.
You know, I've grown accustomed to
Growing
not
and
having
showing.
pants like we spoke about.
Yeah.
before.
Now, you're a grower and a shower. Can we all agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like the whole process.
So you very much, you being the grower and the shower, are very, very much like a zucchini.
Oh.
A zucchini can grow up to 1 inch per day in peak season under ideal
Yeah.
growing conditions, of course.
That happens. That
And
happens.
it's an astonishing 1 to 2 inches sometimes per day, depending on the quality of your soil. This rapid growth can cause a zucchini to go from an ideal size to an oversized one in a single day, which is why daily monitoring is recommended for gardeners. So you can sit there and measure it every single day.
Yeah. My dad, as we know, my dad won all kinds of state fairs with his zucchinis. He would put a hormone on the flower of the zucchini plant.
Oh,
And this particular hormone would spark these excessively large zucchinis to be grown. And they were huge. They would look like little bats. That's how big they were. You know, so
baseball bats.
pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. No,
How did your
no.
dad figure that out? Did someone give him some advice on what?
You know, he probably needed a weapon, and no. He said, I'm going to whack you in the head with
Because
this
that's
bat.
ingenious to come up with something like that. It's
No,
pretty cool.
actually, I think he read about it in a book that he
Yeah.
read, and he was, you know, that type of guy that
Yeah,
if he did gardening, he had to take it to the excess.
yeah,
you
of
know?
course.
Gardening, Nick, is not just for the plants.
It's not.
No. And most people think that, oh, you're a gardener, but it's not just about that. It's about the actual habitat. And I'm going to speak briefly on this and then again on how it impacts things. But gardening impacts a lot of other features. Like, for instance, people don't think bees, birds, butterflies, bugs, the act of pollination itself creates honey and other things that are going on due to the fact that you are reaping the benefits of a garden. So you're not only getting the actual produce from that garden and the fun of doing it, but you're also creating a habitat for other animals to prosper and to grow and to, go come into existence.
That's
amazing.
That's
amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
By the way, I meant to tell you this. Roy and I do speak a couple of times a week in between our recordings here of this podcast and radio show, and that is that I found them. I dusted them off. The 3 episodes.
You found the tapes
of Fire Escape Romance.
Oh no!
Roy and I wrote a soap opera that we performed, as well as a couple of members of your staff at your store that you had at the time.
I can remember the.
Yeah, Roy had a little organ, and he played it, and we basically narrated like the old-fashioned, the old-time soap operas, and so
Radio
it was
show,
called Fire Escape Romance, where basically these two teenagers were not allowed to see each other. And so they met up on a fire escape. That's the premise of the show. A little diversion there. How about some more gardening here? Don't touch me. Just don't touch me.
You have no problem with that.
Okay, fine. The Mimosa pudica foals.
Oh, the old pudica. I like a little pudica
Yeah.
every once in a while. I've been known to indulge in the pudica.
Well, what happens is when you touch it, it folds its leaves when touched.
Oh,
The mimosa.
it's a shy pudica.
Yes, it is. It's a sensitive plant. It folds its leaves when you touch it due to a rapid change in water pressure within its cells. It's actually pretty cool. I've gone to a gardening center, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And it says, go ahead and touch me, the sign said. And I touched it, and the leaves just closed up. Now, thankfully, it wasn't.
And the cashier smacked him.
Right, yeah. So here's what happens. This is actually pretty neat. When touched, the Mimosa pudica, when touched, the electrical and chemical signals cause the release of potassium and chlorine ions from specific cells at the base of the leaf and leaflets. This causes the water to rush out, leading to a loss of pressure, which makes the cells and leaves collapse and fold just by you touching them. Yeah.
The old pudica, old pudica plant.
That's right.
So be careful when you're touching that, folks.
Oh yeah. Exactly,
Yeah.
Because then it'll snap on you like a snapdragon.
Gardening scientists, Nick. There are scientists that they call them gardening scientists, apparently.
All right.
They probably failed out of every other science. They found that people that garden, look at how smart these guys are. People that garden are 90% more likely to be much more patient than other people.
Oh.
Well, no crap. Okay. That's like saying a guy in solitary confinement is a good listener. I mean, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious? But anyway, they did an entire study, probably in Sweden. They wasted our money, taxpayer money, to find out that people that garden are more patient. Well, of course you are. You put a seed in the ground, you have to water it, it takes time.
And you watch it grow. So there's a plant called sneezewort.
The sneezewort plant.
Yeah. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. No, well, no, you don't want to get that near the pudica.
No.
The
plant's
you don't want to get the pudica sick.
No, you don't, because it starts...
Or, pudica warts are a thing you need to watch out for.
And they start to drip and become all wet, and it becomes a problem.
No, don't even
go there.
That's so gross.
Sneezewort, Gesundheit. The plant's name refers to its traditional use as sneezing powder. Sneezing powder.
Sneezing powder, as in the powder, the stuff that would make you sneeze.
In ancient times, the dried leaves and roots were powdered and used as a snuff to clear congestion.
Oh.
It comes from the Greek word pataro, meaning to sneeze.
Like the pudica.
The pudica, yes, exactly. So so they used to use like little sneezing powders. They just take it and stick it up their nose so they could sneeze and then release
whatever
they're congested with.
Mucal congestion.
Right, the mucomimosa puticle.
Yeah, right. Well, there's the puticle, the pinaca. They're all bachata.
You say
many
pachata.
Nicknames, Nick. Many nicknames.
You say picata, I say pachata. All right.
So we spoke before about when you create a garden, you
Yes.
are also creating a habitat, whether you know it or not, for other things.
Right.
Like bugs and bees and birds and butterflies. And down here in Florida, the lizards live inside the planting area.
That's
Snakes.
Right.
Yes. So you create this habitat. But planting also, whether you know it or not, you're affecting the environment, not just with the animals, like we said, but you're changing the air quality by the production of oxygen. The plants are taking in the carbon monoxide. They're releasing carbon dioxide. They're releasing the oxygen.
Right.
Okay. One of the things that we don't think about, you plant bushes.
Right.
And you are changing the noise environment around your area or your neighbors. Okay. Also, you plant bushes and trees around the house. You are saving the environment. You are changing the temperature inside your house.
Wow.
When the sun hits a tree, it does not hit your house. The tree will take most of the heat, leaving your house cooler in the summertime. And more protected in the wintertime. So just planting gardens changes the environment for animals and the actual environment itself. It's pretty cool.
Some studies have shown that by gardening, when you do garden, it is very therapeutic because you're touching the earth and you're connecting with the earth and all kinds of good stuff. So, yeah, gardening can be healthy for you. I have one more, don't I? Or we're all done? What are we doing?
I have one too.
Okay, so then let's go on with earthworms. I keep earthworms. Now, apparently, according to some gardeners, some great gardeners who sit there and watch their seeds grow, earthworms are...
You don't want that worm to wiggle into the pudica.
No, not at all, because then it becomes, then you have another one. Then you have another snail.
They have multiple pudicas.
Right.
You have multiple things popping out of the pudica.
Oh, 100%. If you're not careful. That's why you need those rubber gloves.
Yeah.
So a gardener told us that earthworms are really good for the soil because they eat all the leaves and stuff, and then they compost them. But anyway, earthworms have 5 pairs of pseudo hearts. Some people think earthworms have 5 hearts. They don't. They're called aortic arches. They pump blood through their bodies. Earthworms do not have a brain complex enough, just like our show, to produce emotions.
I was just going to say, Nick is very similar to an earthworm. But he has a big heart.
Right.
He's that type of guy.
So thank you very much. So it's
Gets him a little pudica from time to time.
That's going to become like an earworm, speaking of worms. So they do not
First we had the Fark Sleeva, now we have pudica.
Pudica.
We're going to have T-shirts made.
Pudica.
I get plenty of pudica.
For your garden. I have plenty of pudica in my garden.
Go to nickandroy.com. Go to the Nick and Roy
store and get yourself a T-shirt.
I like a good pudica.
So earthworms do not have a brain complex enough to produce emotions like love, fear, or hate. But not only that, earthworms do not have eyes. It relies on light-sensitive cells on its skin to detect changes in light, a much simpler form of vision.
Well, because I think about it, Nick, they're in the dark most of the time, right?
Yeah.
They're in the soil.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't need to see. Yeah.
Meandering about, eating whatever comes in front of their face.
You know what? I just thought of something because we just did Inventions here on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. They should have
something.
Yeah, I just invented earthworm goggles.
This is a first.
Yeah, it's earthworm goggles. This way, as they're going through the dirt doesn't get into their eyes. Well, they don't have eyes, but they don't.
Straight from the mindless, dirty mind of Nick.
Non-brain complexity enough to produce emotions.
Now we know what's actually inside his head, just dirt.
All right.
Okay, here's one more.
Yes.
People that garden, They not only give back to the animals, they not only give back to the environment,
Right.
but they also give back to themselves. And you said that gardening is healthy. Well, guess what? Gardening you will have better sleep. Not to mention, we said before, the stress relief of having a garden, the patience and stress relief.
Right.
But just think about it. The mere action of gardening is exercise. You're carrying soil, you're digging holes. So gardening can be a key exercise, especially when we go into our elderly stage like Nick, and we're feeble-minded like Nick.
Right.
And we don't get much pudica anymore, so we have to plant them.
Like Nick. Yes.
No, but it's a great thing. So gardening, folks, what we're trying to say here is all around gardening is good for everybody.
It is. So check it out.
So plant a garden.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
You'll eat healthier too. Think about it.
And a great thing to teach your kids. Like if you have kids of school age.
Yeah, you always want to teach your kid about the birds, the bees, and the pudica.
Right, yeah, 100%.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
So Howie from Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Yes.
He writes, Dear Roy, please include Nick on this.
Don't leave him out.
I want to tell you a story about a guy who never, ever liked birthdays until my daughter got me a birthday message from nickandroy.com. It is the best gift I've ever received in my entire 67 years on this planet.
Oh, yeah.
He said, my daughter is one of the most thoughtful person that I know. She's a wonderful person. I'm so proud that she's my daughter. And I am so happy to tell you guys that your birthday message is the greatest gift I've ever received.
Christina from Toronto, where I live here, says, Dear Nick and Roy, love listening to your show. I did order a birthday message for my husband, and he absolutely loved it. And to be honest with you, we have had some troubles in our marriage lately, and I thought I'd send him something really special. And believe it or not, it helped things along because I sent you guys some personal information about him that he was reminded of, and he loved it. It brought our relationship to another level, so we thank you for that. Wow. So that's the impact that something as simple as a gesture, like a birthday message. On the show today, we talked about cars, we talked about inventions, we went down the garden path. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
When I research the news from around the world, I make sure that I figure out what the dateline is, where the story is from. And I make sure that I grab some news from around the world that basically represents society in general. A woman from Punta Gorda, Florida.
Which is like 20 minutes away from me.
Well, I'm not going to name the street, but basically used to live off of this street. And I'm not going to name it to protect your privacy. Although you can visit Roy when you go to musicbyroy.com, and you can figure out where he goes to sing. So if you're in the southwest part of Florida, you can check him out. He really does put on a great show. Not just here on this program. But anyway, Punta Gorda woman was accused of stealing a motorized Publix shopping cart.
Ooh, she took the motorized
one to drive herself to an appointment, apparently. The woman was arrested after being accused of stealing the motorized public shopping cart.
She had a lot of time to get to that appointment. Those things don't go very fast.
They don't. According to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, deputies responded to a public store location on this street.
Publix, by the way, for you folks around the world, it is
Yeah.
a big supermarket chain in Florida. They're like
Okay.
the #1 supermarket chain.
Okay, so think of the supermarket chain in your location, and then they have these motorized
Yeah, you have
for the disabled people.
bump into people's
Right.
heels.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Roy does. That's what Roy does for fun.
Yeah, well,
They have a picture of Roy in every one of those Publix locations, and they say, "Have you
Yeah.
seen this man?"
I do that in supermarkets, and
Yeah.
I also walk around with mirror shoes.
Yes,
Mirror-
exactly.
Mirrors on my shoes.
Wow, you're looking for puticas. So she was arrested after being accused of stealing this in Punta Gorda. According to the sheriff's office, they responded to a public store manager who called around. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. Deputies say they talked to the store manager, who told them that the woman had come to the store, stolen the motorized shopping cart, and was seen driving south on this particular road.
Yeah, you can't not be seen, Nick. It's a green object. It's painted lime green because that's their color.
Right.
With a white thing that says Publix on the side of it. Is
Okay.
a very large written Publix. It's kind of like an advertising thing.
So here's the thing. You said how slow it goes. Deputies tracked the woman. As if she had a GPS on it. She was identified as 42-year-old Robin Zick.
42. Now this woman should be capable of walking faster than that damn thing.
Well, she is from Punta Gorda, and
Yeah.
she drove it to a Circle K gas station. I guess it's another chain of gas stations.
Oh, by the way, that's like a big gas station chain, Circle K. And in fact, my favorite, by the way, gas station, 79-cent big gulps.
Wow.
You get a large soda for 79 cents.
Nice.
Not big plug for them. And
Yeah.
by the way, cleanest bathrooms anywhere.
That's a
Until I get in there.
right. Yeah, of course. So basically, it's a mile from where the Publix is to this gas station. So she drove this slow-moving motorized
Yeah.
cart for an hour.
I was going to say, because it probably only goes 1 mile an hour.
Deputies caught up with Zick, who was still standing in.
Yeah, they're real sharp, too. Punta Gorda police.
Well, they met with her finally. There was a chase.
You go in that direction, I'll go in this direction. Make sure you go 1 mile an hour. You know, I mean, come on.
There was
They
a
have
low-
to not find it.
There was a low-speed chase down this particular road. She was still sitting on the cart, confirmed that the cart, valued at $2,500.
Ooh.
She admitted that she stole it from Publix.
Now, here's the thing, Nick. Did she purchase anything from Publix?
It doesn't say.
Because had she made a purchase, she had a pretty good case of the fact that she needed to bring it home.
Well, according to now, here's something interesting about this story. Emergency medical services that arrived on the scene said that they
Why did they need emergency?
well, because she phoned them.
So she called them up and she said, I need help.
Right, exactly. So
This thing ran out of juice.
They-
I need to steal an ambulance.
Right. Maybe. Deputies questioned Zick, who told them that that she had taken the motorized shopping cart to go to a medical appointment that she had. She
At Circle K.
Yeah. She had gas problems.
You know, they sell liquor there.
Oh, they do. There you go.
Well, they sell beer and stuff. you know.
So, but she did tell.
By the way, at very good prices. Circle K, everything you'll ever need.
Right, including 79-cent bill gulps. She told the deputy she planned on driving the car to her appointment, but she was promising to bring it back to Publix.
How? I mean, how much charge does this thing have?
I don't know. Well, it's a mile. So if Publix, according to the story, according to the authorities, it's a mile between Publix and the Circle K that they found her.
Yeah, I think she was driving on Route 41, which is a very well-traveled route.
I'm not going to identify the route to protect all the people involved in the
You
story.
should, Nick,
Yeah, exactly.
but you've given us her name. But
Right,
go ahead.
Exactly. And her age. Now, even though...
And 8 locations of exactly where she was.
she went, right, due to the low-speed chase. So,
Right.
so she, even though she transported herself from Publix to the Circle K, she
Yeah.
was transported to the hospital for further evaluation.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Yeah, this woman's not right.
She was then released from the hospital, and then she was arrested, facing charges of grand theft. That's all the time
Yeah.
we have for this episode of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We will scour the internet far and wide, and we'll go as fast as that lady, Ms. Zick, on
I was
the
gonna
public
say.
shopping cart to find more
Yeah.
totally useless information just for you.
Until then, tell a friend, tell anyone that you know about totally useless information, because you've been doing a pretty damn good job of doing it. We thank you, and we appreciate every time you push our show.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy.
Thanks for listening.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is recorded and produced in Canada. For more totally useless information, visit nickandroy.com. That's nickandroy.com.